Greetings kings and queens, I hope you're doing well and thank you so much for stopping by at my channel. So I'm Rachel Abbey from Intentional Adulting and I do videos all about intentional living, so us getting and setting really clear goals that will enable us to create and actually live the kind of lifestyle that we dream for ourselves in the future. So if that sounds of interest to you, then definitely subscribe to the channel. So I wanted to do a quick video today, just giving you some tips about how you can save up for your first home. I know a lot of my viewers are millennials, we're in our 20s, we're in our 30s, and we're now planning to get on a property ladder. I feel like I've left it a bit late. I'm 31 and I'm still going through the house buying process. I started it last year and it's taken a bit longer than planned. But yeah, a lot of us have this goal of actually getting on the property ladder and buying our first home. So if that is a goal of yours, we all know that one of the first steps is actually saving up a deposit in order to get a mortgage in the first place. So I wanted to share some tips of how I saved up for my deposit, because I know saving money can feel like a really hard chore. It can feel nearly impossible sometimes, but I do also believe that with like really clear intention and goal setting, we can save up a sizable amount to put towards our homes. So the three things that I did more or less to save up for my deposit, I can categorize them into three areas. So one was I increased my income. The second thing I did was I reduced my expenses. And then the third thing I did was I increased my savings. Doing those three things were really like game changing for me. So if I just look at the ways that I reduced my expenses, and again, I guess this is personal for me, like this is what I personally did. I'm not saying that you should do all of these things as well, but if you're trying to think of ways that you can start really shifting a lot of money towards your savings pot for your house deposit, then these tips may be helpful. One way that I reduced my expenses was I just took public transport less frequently. So I actually started walking to work as opposed to taking the bus, because it enabled me to save £3 every day. I know £3 is not a substantial amount, but when you add it over the course of 2 years, which is how long it took me to save up for my house deposit, it is a lot of money. So yeah, so I decided to start walking to work as opposed to taking the bus. I also tried to walk to areas that were within walkable distance if I was going out with friends rather than taking the bus and the tube. It helped me get in more exercise, but it also helped me save money. So that was quite fundamental. I also, during the 2 years that I was saving, I decided to buy fewer takeaways. So we all know that eating out is really expensive. So essentially I just cut down on my takeaways. Not that I didn't buy any meals out at all, but I definitely cut it down, and I think I was eating out once a month. That was the goal. Sometimes I did eat out a bit more than that, but you know, compared to like once every week, which is what I was doing before I was saving for my deposit, once a month enabled me to save a lot of money as well. The third way that I reduced my expenses was by creating a budget, a weekly budget for my groceries. So I go to the supermarket every week to buy my food shopping, and before my house saving journey, I didn't have a maximum that I would tell myself that I could spend at the supermarket. I would just spend whatever it was, whatever ended up being in my basket. But I decided to tell myself I had a weekly limit of £25, I believe it was, that I could spend on food shopping. And I think £25 is even quite a lot, to be honest, but I'm not able to shop in places like Aldi or Lidl. I just don't have those near me. So yeah, shopping at Asda or Sainsbury's, I think a £25 weekly food shop limit for one person I feel is quite reasonable. But yeah, I was able to save money by reducing my weekly spend on groceries and actually, you know, imposing a budget on myself, and then, you know, taking stuff out of the basket if I got to the counter and it ended up being more than £25. So consider doing that as well. I also didn't sign up to any subscriptions during that time, so I wasn't one that was signing up to Spotify or Netflix or Amazon Prime. That just literally wasn't my life during the 2 years that I was saving up. Subscriptions, they may feel quite cheap when you look at them individually, but once you have like a handful of subscriptions, that can easily be like £100 eaten out of your money every month. So yeah, just staying away from subscriptions helps me minimize my expenses. Another way that I reduced my expenses was I just stopped paying rent. So you may know that prior to my house saving journey, I was paying rent. I was renting a room in a house share, and I decided to move back home, move back in with my parents, because I would essentially not be living rent free, but you know, the rent that I'm paying now in comparison to what I was paying when I was renting a room, like it's nothing basically. It's like 1/5 of what I was paying. So yeah, I just stopped paying rent. I moved back home, and I know not everyone is able to move back in with their parents in order to save up for a deposit, but what we can all do is move to cheaper accommodation. So whether that's moving to an area where the rent is slightly cheaper, or moving into a slightly smaller flat, so the rent is cheaper that way, or potentially moving into a house share and renting a room as opposed to an entire flat, that's another way to reduce your rent. I guess, yeah, so I think those are some really fundamental or powerful ways of being able to reduce the amount that we spend on rent each month, and that definitely helped me. I went from spending £550 on rent per month to spending £100 living with my parents, so that was really groundbreaking for me as well. Another way that I reduced my expenses was by buying a SIM only contract. So when my contract when my phone contract expired, I didn't decide to get a new phone and a new yearly or 24-month contract. I just got a SIM only contract because that is way cheaper. It did mean that I had to stay with like I guess an old phone on the, you know, when you compare the phones that people have these days. So my phone isn't the latest or the shiniest or the brightest, I get it, but it was a really great way for me to reduce my phone bill every month, and the extra money that I was able to save, I was putting that towards my mortgage or my deposit savings. The 7th way that I was able to reduce my expenses was by stopping buying clothes. I told myself no more clothes, and to be honest, it wasn't that hard for me to stop buying clothes, because literally I just stopped going into clothes shops, and I very rarely shop online, to be fair. So yeah, just simply not going into clothes shops at all helped me avoid the temptation. And I just told myself I can buy clothes, but it has to be during the Black Friday sales where I'm able to save money, or where I'm able to at least get money off what I'm planning to buy. So yeah, I think clothes is a big expense for a lot of us. A lot of us want to keep up with like latest trends. When we see something nice and fancy being released in stores, we want to get it, but it can really eat into our deposit savings. So you know, reducing our expenses on clothes is another great way to reduce our expenses overall. So those are the ways that I was able to reduce my expenses. I mentioned before as well that the second way that I was able to save for my deposit was by increasing my income. So how I did that was essentially applying for a promotion at work. So I think when I started my savings journey, I was on about, I think, 31k at work, and you know, that's a decent salary, and you can definitely save for a deposit on that salary. But I knew that it would take me quite a while to save up the amount that I needed if I remained on that salary. And to be fair, I also felt like I was due a promotion at work, just being really honest. So what I did was I applied for a role that was 2 levels up 2 career levels above the one that I was at that time. I didn't go for the career level immediately above mine because I felt like even that was like too low. I was just ambitious. I'd seen other people being promoted like twice kind of thing instantly, and I felt like I had done enough work to do the same thing. So yeah, so I applied for a promotion at work. I applied for the job, I interviewed for it, and praise God I was able to get that job, and that enabled me to increase my income. I think it was by about like 12%, I believe. If it's not 12%, I'll leave the figure in the on the screen. But yeah, that was a really great way of being able to increase my income without me having to do anything extravagant kind of things. So if you are able to increase your income during your house saving journey, like, do that, whether it's applying for promotions at work or applying for jobs at other companies so that you can get paid what you're worth. You know, asking your manager about bonuses. If you can work overtime, do that. If you can get a second job perhaps in the evenings or on the weekend, do that, because all of that extra money, it helps. And then yeah, when it comes to increasing my savings, there were 2 things that I did to increase my savings. So number 1 was I opened a lifetime ISA. I've done, I think, 2 videos on lifetime ISAs that I will leave in the description box, but that enabled me to get a free £1,000 bonus from the government that I can put towards my house deposit. So a LISA is a great way of increasing your savings. And then the second way that I was able to increase my savings was by putting aside the extra money that I was earning as a result of my promotion and pay rise, putting that extra money just straight into my savings. So this is called lifestyle inflation. What most people do when they get a pay rise is that they increase their lifestyle and they buy more expensive things or more things to I guess accommodate the larger salary they're getting. That is a no-no if you are saving up for a house or for anything else. The extra money that you have in your bank account each month, you don't need it to live on. You have proved to yourself that you can live on less because you weren't getting paid that amount a few weeks ago. So just use the extra money that you're earning as a result of your pay rise and put that directly into your savings. That's what I did, and it enabled me to save, I think, a few extra £100 every month, and that has a massive impact over time. So yeah, so those are the 10 things that I personally found really helpful towards helping me save towards my house deposit. And again, you can categorize them into 3 areas. So 1 is reducing your expenses, 1 is increasing your income, and then the 3rd one is increasing your savings. I wasn't able to do this in just a few months. It literally has taken me 2 years to save up for my deposit. But yeah, it's all about consistency and automating your savings. So I strongly suggest that you open up a savings account so that you can just be moving your money into that savings account every single month automatically, and set up a standing order. You know, just set it up as a standing order so it goes into your account every single month without you having to physically go into your mobile banking app or online banking and actually remember to move the money in every single month. So just automate it, do it, you know, set it up to coincide with your pay date or the day after your pay date, so that you don't have to be remembering to do this every single month. And before you know it, you will start to see your savings rise and rise and rise. And yeah, just set yourself a goal as well. Set yourself a goal of how much you actually want or need to save up for a house. I set myself a goal of 40k that I wanted to save up for my deposit. I didn't end up actually needing the entire 40k because my partner is contributing partly towards our deposit, but just setting myself a goal, coming up with a figure so that I had something tangible to work towards, really helped me keep on track and just helped me see like how I was moving closer and closer to that goal every month. So yeah, produce identify a figure, whether you're going to just say 30k randomly or 20k randomly. Look at how much on average the kind of property that you want to buy costs, and then work out what a 5% deposit will be, what a 10% deposit will be, and what a 15% deposit will be, and choose one of those and just work towards saving up to one of those amounts. At the moment it's pandemic time, so you know, a lot of, or most lenders are requiring at least a 15% deposit on the purchase of a property. Hopefully things go back to how they were a few months ago, where they are accepting 10% deposits or 5%. But yeah, just choose a figure that works for you, and then yeah, just start saving towards that every month. So yeah, I do hope you found this video encouraging and helpful. Hopefully it sparked some ideas about what you can start to do to either start saving towards your house deposit or increase the amount that you're saving every month towards your deposit. Let me know if it was helpful by leaving a comment in the comment section. If you do anything different or above and beyond what I've shared today that you feel is really helping you save a substantial amount of money towards your deposit, leave your ideas down below so that other people can benefit from what you're doing. It's really great when we're able to share ideas and share experiences. Definitely subscribe to the channel for more property related videos, for more adulting related videos. Turn on your notification bell as well so that YouTube actually notifies you when I upload, and like this video if you found it helpful. Check out my first time buyers playlist for more videos about buying your first home, and I've also got a playlist about saving money as well and financial freedom, so check those two playlists out after you're done with this video. I will see you soon in my next video, so take care and God bless.